Okay, here's your message, Nadim. It says, Michael, I am a Stealth student, and this is my essay. Please evaluate it. Thanks. All right, so Nadim, you're one of my online TOEFL students at Better TOEFL Scores, and you purchased the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL test, and now you're doing a practice writing response on one of my password protected pages. And I took your response and I copied and pasted it into Microsoft Word so it'd be a little easier for me to work with and edit it and give you some comments and so on. Here's your question. Some young adults want independence from their parents as soon as possible. Other young adults prefer to live with their families for a longer time. Which of these situations do you think is better? Use specific reasons and examples to support your opinion. Here's your answer. Some adults may want independence from their parents as soon as possible because of restrictions and they felt parents as burden. I would prefer to live with my parents because of their guidance and devotion. Okay, let's make some corrections here. So, parallel structure. You have, because of restrictions, this is a noun phrase which comes after the preposition, or this is the object of the preposition. Then you have here, I think this doesn't work so well. I'm going to say because of restrictions, and how about, let's just give you a noun here, burden. How about burdensome parents? That way a parallel structure is good. I would prefer to live with my parents because of their guidance and devotion. Your introduction is too short. Way, way too short. I would recommend that you shoot for 50 to 100 words on your introduction. The good thing is you have a thesis statement. The bad news is that's all you have. Right? So you need something that would come before this sentence, something a little bit broader. Right, so you go back and look at the question. So it's talking about young adults wanting independence from their parents and others who prefer to live for a longer period of time. So you have to start off with something like this. Parents, if they're doing a pretty good job, they raise their children so they can be independent. Now, as children get older, there are some who prefer to stay with their parents for a longer period of time and be dependent with them, while there's others who want to be as independent as soon as possible. And then you get to, I would prefer to live with my parents because of their guidance and devotion. So your intro is just too short. Okay, let's go to your second paragraph. You have, first of all, I would like to utilize the experiences of my parents. Your topic sentence I don't think is working too well. We've got to go back to the question. You have to say, first of all, I prefer to live with my parents because. So I think that this idea here, it doesn't really directly connect to the purpose of the writing assignment. So I don't think you really have a good topic sentence. Let's see what you do though. You have, as my father is a doctor, a heart surgeon, and he faces, I don't think you need as here. You just say something like, my father is a doctor, a heart surgeon, and he faces new challenges every day. I'm doing my house job. I would say chores is a better word because typically you're not really paid to do the chores around your house as opposed to a job. So you have, I'm doing my house chores and have a plan, the wrong word here, plain. Be careful about using the wrong words. It can interfere in your ability to be understood. So you have, I'm doing my house chores and have a plan to do, I would say, a specialization in infectious diseases. The problem is, I'm looking at these first 3 lines, you're not getting to the question about why you prefer to live with your parents. So we discuss our daily routine cases while we're doing breakfast. For instance, he just did a coronary artery bypass. I think that's one word. Bypass surgery to his, I'm going to say 4 here, for his patient last Friday, comma here, and the patient is recovering. He discusses that case with me, and this discussion really increases because it seems like you're using the past tense in the previous area, so we'll stick with your verb tense. He discusses that case with me, and this discussion really increases my knowledge and gives me motivation. A situation happens to me when I was attending the patient who develops sepsis, and he was a heart patient as well. At that time, I utilized experience that I got from my father that this patient should be treated for sepsis and side by side with hypertensive medicines. This paragraph, I mean, how does it relate back to your idea of guidance? I mean, first of all, you have to say something here. First of all, I prefer to live with my parents because of the guidance they give me. There's nothing in there that really supports that point. This entire paragraph, I mean, let's face it here, I could delete this. It doesn't do anything to defend that first point that you made in your thesis statement. So this paragraph is not working very well at all. Okay, let's go to the next paragraph. Secondly, devotional love of parent is not comparable to anybody in the world. This is a problem. It doesn't directly connect back to the purpose of the writing assignment. You have to go back, you have to say, another reason, or secondly, I prefer to live with my parents because of the devotion they give to me. So you did say devotion and love there, but you're not mentioning the key points from the question that help give the paragraph a purpose. So let's just forget the grammar now. You have a lot of grammar problems, but I don't think that's your biggest issue right now. Your biggest issue, I think, is organizing your paragraphs around the writing prompt so each paragraph serves to answer the question. This is my mother who wake up whole night when child becomes sick. As my son, Arsum, become ill and I was worried, but I noticed my mother was more worried than she was there to support my feelings at that time. I felt like I could not find this devotion anywhere else and I would not left my parents and I will stay with them the whole life. I would like to share one more thing that my mother was a school teacher. She teaches me at home in a polite, humble, and generous way. She teaches my children now. I believe every action has similar kind of reaction as my parents did the best for me, so I cannot leave them, which is why you said something like this, which is why I prefer to live with my parents because of the devotion they give to me. But this is better than the other paragraph. This paragraph here is terrible because it doesn't do anything to answer the question that you've been asked. This paragraph, it doesn't work very well here, but I think once I get here and I read some of this, it does better. So the middle part of your third paragraph does a decent job in helping develop your idea. So then you have, in conclusion, I would prefer to live with my parents because of their love and try to get guidance in every field of life. All right, let's take a look at the IBT independent writing rubrics, the scoring standards that the raters will use to score your essays. So 5, forget about it. 4, no way. 3, I don't know. Let me take a look at this one. You might score a 3. It says addresses a topic and task using somewhat developed. No, you have not really directly addressed the topic. I mean, you had a thesis in the first paragraph, but your second paragraph was a nightmare. You really did nothing in paragraph 2 to address a topic directly. So paragraph 3 kind of did somewhat of a job addressing that. So I'm going to say not too good there. I'm going to go to 2 here. I think your score is probably 2.0 out of 5 on this practice response here. It says, an essay at this level may reveal one or more of the following weaknesses. Limited development in response to the topic and task. Yes, that describes you, unfortunately, especially, I think, your topic sentences in paragraphs 2 and 3, especially paragraph 2, need to directly connect back to the writing assignment. But paragraph 2 absolutely killed you. So, and then inadequate organization or connection of ideas. Yes, especially paragraph 2. It doesn't connect very well to the writing task. Inappropriate or insufficient exemplifications, explanations, or details to support or illustrate generalizations in response to the task. Yes, a lot of the details and things you're using, they don't do well to support or respond to the task that you were given to write. A noticeably inappropriate choice of words or word forms. Yes, you're having some big problems with verb tenses. You start with present, you go to past, you go back to present, you go back to past. You're changing around your verb tenses so much, it makes it really difficult for me to understand what you're trying to say. An accumulation of errors in sentence structure and or usage. Sentence structure is not too bad, but I think it's more of the words and the word forms you're using. So I think that the essay that you submitted to me at this point would score 2.0 out of 5. So you're probably looking at, I don't know, maybe 12 or 13 points maybe out of 30 on this particular speaking task. So what do you do now? Obviously, you've been taking my writing lessons, and I think that you understand the concept of a thesis. But I think you're still struggling with the concept of a topic sentence. So go back and look at some of the samples in the TOEFL. I think it's TOEFL Writing Lesson 3. I have like 45 sample essays that you can read and analyze. And I want you to look at some of those and pay attention to not only the thesis, but the first 2 lines of each paragraph and see how they connect back. And then you're going to try to copy that when you do another practice writing test. That would be some advice. I also recommend that you go through my TOEFL grammar lessons on my 7-step system to pass the TOEFL test, and make sure you review punctuation. And I think that's TOEFL grammar lessons 3 and 4, but also look at TOEFL grammar lessons 1 and 2, where it gives you some ideas about sentence structure and also about wordiness and making your sentences more concise and those kinds of things.